In this video, I'm sitting down with a local mortgage lender to ask the tough questions in this current market we're in. How is this going to affect you for buying a home here in the Charleston and surrounding areas? And why the hell are the rates so damn high? If you want to know more about the money side of this process, and I think you do, stay tuned. We're getting after it right now. Hey everyone, my name is Ryan McHugh and welcome to this channel. A channel dedicated to everything about living in or moving to Charleston, South Carolina. If you want to know more about eating, working, living, shopping, and socializing in Charleston, highly recommend subscribing to my channel and clicking that notification bell so that every time I upload a new video, well, you get notified. I love helping people get to know Charleston and everything it has to offer. If you have questions about moving or relocating here, give me a call, text, or email. Just reach out, 843-226-5535. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, I am sitting down with Stephen Lynn from Interlinc Mortgage, a local lender here in Charleston and the surrounding areas to South Carolina. Stephen has personally helped over 30 plus of my families in the last 6 months, and we have saved our clients hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. You want us to help you save that kind of cash? You need to hear how Stephen can create an action plan to help our clients win the best offer. There is a ton of competition, people, and not all lenders are created the same. So today, I am sitting down with Stephen, and we are going to talk a little money. So what could be better, right? Stephen, I think I speak for most of my viewers and myself. What the is going on, man? I mean, 6 months ago, we were at 2.75%, 2.95%. Now we're seeing 5 to 6%. I mean, why did rates get high?
Well, as funny as that is, to put it simply, Ryan, there's just too many buyers out there. Rates are going up. It's part of the government's plan to correct the market, which is the simplest way to look at it. We're just going through a market correction right now. And one of the easiest ways to eliminate a lot of buyers is just increase interest rates. People that could afford homes in the past just can't afford the homes now, or they just don't qualify for the higher rates.
So the government's purposely knocking people out of okay, so they're knocking them out and saying, hey, too many people are buying houses.
Right.
Okay. What does that benefit the government?
That's a good question. A lot of that is just correcting a lot of these markets where we're just seeing buying just going crazy, because you've seen it yourself. Inventory is super low, and it has been super low for quite a long time.
Yeah, it did fix the problem.
It did. Inventory is catching up. We're still not out of the woods yet, but it is getting better, and that is actually going to benefit buyers in the long run because it's going to give them better ways to negotiate on those homes.
Okay, so none of this is your fault, right?
I'd like to think it's not. No.
Okay.
No.
So if you guys feel this was Stephen's fault, please feel free to give him a call. His cell phone number is below. His wife would love all calls. So at all times of the evening. I'm just kidding. All kidding aside, we know it was the Russians.
Yeah, exactly. We can just go with that. That's
go with
fine.
The Russians. Yep. So do you feel like people are going to be able to refinance these higher interest rates that we're seeing? I mean, what are you doing as a lender to help people understand like the market we're in now?
Absolutely. So you can always refinance. That's been the same strategy in any market we've ever been. The one thing about buying now is it protects you from the market and its uncertainty down the road. So if you buy a home now and interest rates go up, you're good. You're fine for probably a very long time. And if you don't buy now and you decide to wait, interest rates go up. Now that same home probably just got more expensive. But like I said, if you buy now and interest rates go down, which is ideally what we hope for, I mean, I'm a consumer too. I would love if interest rates came down, not only professionally, but also personally. But if they do go down, you can refinance.
So what you're saying is that someone can kind of marry the house but date the rate, right? Like that's the big thing right now. Everybody's saying that, like marry the home because the prices are actually coming back down on some of these houses. So what that's doing is, you know, the builder, maybe the owner is saying, hey, knock $30,000 off this house. That $30,000 might be the difference of what that like 2.75 and maybe now 4.75 or whatever it is, right?
Right, exactly.
And so someone watching this right now might be thinking, wow, like 6%, that's a lot of money on a $450,000 house. What does that look like from a month-to-month perspective?
Like actual dollar amounts, like what they would be paying, right?
Yeah. I want somebody who's sitting there right now watching this, because like when my wife and I were doing this, like it was really kind of scary for us to like figure out like, hey, how much are we actually like approved for? What does that mean in payments? Like, can we afford that? Because coming from the north, prices are so different.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the conversations we have with a lot of folks, especially the ones relocating, is what kind of dollar amounts we're looking at monthly when we're going through that pre-approval process. So on a $450,000 house, I mean, keep in mind that's the price of the home. Your payment's based off of how much you're going to finance in combination with like your loan terms and your interest rate. So like one of the more common scenarios I see is like a conventional loan with maybe 5% down.
Okay.
5% down without a calculator in front of me, you're probably financing like 427 to 428.
Okay.
On a 30-year loan, which is what most people end up doing, you're probably paying about $2,500 to $2,600 a month in today's interest rates. Okay. Now, what people forget is that that's just principal and interest. You also have other expenses that are in those types of scenarios are rolled in with your payment. Your taxes, your insurance, your PMI, those things come into play and can actually be a huge factor with determining what somebody's budget can really withstand.
So what are some things a really savvy buyer should know to create a better foundation to get them ready to buy in this new market?
That's a huge question. I mean, that's a loaded question right there, Ryan. And one of the biggest things I see that can benefit a buyer is being conscious of their credit. Not so much their credit score. I don't want a buyer to come to me and saying, hey, my Credit Karma score is this, it should be that. It's never correct, but be aware of what's on your credit and just be okay with the fact that a blemish here or there in your history is not the end of the world. In many cases, we can work around stuff like that, but just being aware of what's on your credit. Any late payments, any credit cards, student loans, personal loans, auto loans, any other mortgage loans you have, those all play a part in kind of being in applying for financing.
Got it.
And then knowing what your budget is. It's huge because that actually helps me as a loan officer when I have clients that know what their budget is per month, because it kind of helps me work around what an appropriate buying power would be.
Okay. So you find that if somebody says to you, hey, I'm at $2,200 a month, that's where I need to be.
Exactly.
That's beneficial to you to help them.
Exactly. I don't want to issue a pre-approval for somebody for $700,000 if not budgeting for a payment that high. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
We back it down to from their buying power, which is essentially their pre-approval amount is essentially like how high we can push that price point.
Got it.
Before qualifying starts becoming an issue. And then buying power is pretty much where it's going to fall within their budget.
Okay, that's great information. All right, Stephen, so everybody's going to want to know, who's the money going to then? The Fed, the Reserve, the deficit, Nancy Pelosi's closet? So Stephen, what are people's best option if they need to buy a home in a high interest rate market? There's builders out there doing crazy incentives. Mm-hmm. There's, you guys are doing some awesome things for buyers, but how should they better prepare themselves?
Well, that's a good question. So one of the things I push all of my clients to do is price as you go. So what many folks fall into an issue with is that they get a pre-approval and they see some pre-approvals have the terms on the letters, and even some of them have interest rates on there, and they think that's the end all be all. And then they wait 2 months to buy a home, or they take 2 months to purchase a home.
Sure, prices can go up, everything.
They can go up even that same day. Yeah. So I tell my clients to price as you go, and that way when they find that perfect home, right before they're about to submit that offer, call me. You're not asking for permission to put an offer on that home. We're just going to price out that mortgage payment, see exactly what you're going to pay per month on that particular home, and then we narrow that margin, that gap of what kind of range of funds to close you're going to be looking at.
Got it.
And then we also use that time to kind of set expectations for clients. Kind of like, okay, if you win this offer, this is what you're going to expect as far as our process. This is the additional documents we're going to ask for, and this is how quickly we can close your loan. And lean on the experience of your loan officer and your real estate agent as well. And in this market, when we're starting to see more incentives coming from builders, lenders, even sellers themselves on existing homes, is that use that to your advantage. One of the biggest issues you could face is funds to close. Have your real estate agent help negotiate closing cost incentives into your contract to help you get that deal or help you qualify for that home.
Right. Yeah, as a real estate agent, I'm able, as a buyer's agent, I'm really able to get out there and work with, you know, the builders or the other agents and maybe get those closing costs paid for or covered for you. So it is the pendulum is starting to swing back into the buyer's hands a little bit. Let's pause for a second. If you have any questions about financing or lending in today's market, comment below and let us know, and we will be sure to respond to your question. Be sure to slam that like button. All right, money round. This is the part of the episode, we didn't even talk about this. This is the part of the episode where we talk money. And I am going to give you 3 homes in our market, and I want you to tell me if it's under $2,500 a month or more than $2,500 a month. All right, are you good with this?
All right, let's go.
Oh God, we're gonna test Steven out right now. All right, so this one is located right in Cane Bay. This is gonna be a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 0.18 acre, 489. Is this something that you think would be under $2,500 a month or over $2,500 a month?
That's easily going to be over $2,500 a month.
Over $2,500 a month. What are we thinking on that one?
You're probably pushing like $3,000 a month on that, plus your taxes and your insurance.
Okay. All right, Steven, next property. This one's going to be located in Quail Arbor. That's in Dorchester, by the way. That's on 0.39 acres, so a nice roomy land right there. That's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home listed at $375.
It's a good one. That's going to fall just north of probably $2,000 a month. Maybe not quite $2,500.
Okay.
And I think once you add the taxes and insurance in there, especially being Dorchester County, where it can be a little bit more expensive.
Can be, yeah.
That's more likely, I'd say, just right at, if not just north of $2,500 a month.
Awesome. That's good to know. All right, Steven. So on this one, I'm not even going to tell you where it is and what neighborhood, but I'm going to tell you that it is in Dorchester. It's listed at $405,000. It sits on 0.1 acre. It is in an AE flood zone, but this is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath with a 850-year tax district improvement fee. So. I know that was a lot of words.
I think I got all that.
Was cramped. Did you get all that?
Yeah,
Good,
I
I'm
think
glad.
for most loan programs, you're going to see that right at about $2,300 to $2,500 a month. Now, the flood insurance on that, it's hard to say because even a home in AE in one part of Charleston might price out differently than another home in AE. So if that wasn't enough alone, the Dorchester development tax you had mentioned, that would probably that would push them definitely over $2,500.
Okay, so if you are looking at a home in that 405 range in that side of town, you need to consider that some neighborhoods do have those district improvement taxes that you're just going to have to pay regardless if you want to or not. It's just an additional tax that goes on for that neighborhood. There's a couple in the area. So again, reach out to someone like myself. I can connect you with someone like Steven who can definitely help you understand, hey, this is how much I'm going to be paying for this home in this area. And that'll definitely help you throughout this entire process. And like I said, that's what I do is I assist my clients with the relocation process because there's a lot to know. But those tricky little things that I was throwing at Steven, I wanted to see if he could catch them, and he did. So great. And I think that'll definitely help my clients save a lot of money. Steven, what is the best way for my viewers and clients to prepare themselves for this kind of market we're in? Is it save more money down? Is it paying off debt? Get a better paying job? Maybe knock over a 7-Eleven. Who knows? What do people do, Steven? I don't condone that, by the way. No illegal activities.
Because buying a home from prison is proven to be pretty difficult nowadays, or even in the past. So I would say there's a lot of things that can be a barrier to entry for a buyer to purchase a home. Okay. So debt to income ratios, saving more money to close, credit issues, those are the 3 things that are probably the most popular. Debt to income ratios just is affected by your buying power.
Okay.
So the easiest way to fix that is just lowering your buying power to a point where now you qualify and the ratios aren't an issue. Credit issues, I work with a lot of clients on a daily basis and work with them on their credit. So a lot of times we can fix them at a point, if not up front, by the time they close on that new home.
Understood.
So that's in a hurdle that we can also, I'd say easily, but still eventually overcome. I think the biggest issue that most buyers are facing right now from a loan officer perspective is the funds to close. And that's why us, being in this market right now, where we eventually or hopefully hit a shift, you're seeing builders with incentives, sellers more willing to contribute towards closing costs, is crucial to working with experienced real estate agents and lenders that kind of know how to navigate that market to work to your benefit. So you're not looking at, there might be $25,000 due at closing, where if you have 20, you can negotiate $5,000 to come from the seller or the builder to help you qualify for that home purchase.
Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. So, Stephen, what makes you best at what you do? I mean, I'm listening to you and I hear you talking, and I'm going to be honest with you. Here's what I get a lot of. Somebody calls me up and they're out of state and they go, "Hey, I just got my pre-approval through Loan Depot, and I mean, why am I calling you and not LoanDepot.com? I mean, and I'm not plugging them in any way, shape, or form. Sure. I do burn that site, which, by the way, how are they doing? I mean, I heard they were, I was reading the Wall Street Journal. Woof.
Well, I would say that many of the big box lenders and many of those big lenders out there that are so focused on the refis the last couple of years when interest rates were super low,
sure.
2s, low 3s, they're struggling right now.
Okay.
When they geared their entire business or a good chunk of it towards refinances, refinances, in my opinion, is a short-term gig to get into without getting too into the mud or the details. They're struggling right now. And a lot of them are trying to save face by moving over to the purchase side of business. But when you have a process that focuses on refinances, doesn't always work for a transition to nothing but purchases. Over 90% of my business year over year is purchases. I work with a lot of folks that are relocating, military, first-time home buyers. I'm a local mortgage lender with a great reputation in Charleston. So my team and I know how to close loans. We know how to price them out with accurate numbers, and we're available. One of the biggest complaints I get from clients is that when they call those big box lenders with call center loan officers, is that if they don't get the best answers to their questions, and in many cases they don't speak to the same person every time they call about their specific loan. To me, that's a customer service issue.
Right. So, Stephen, why is it so important to work with a local lender? I mean, that's kind of, I guess, what we're talking about here is like, what's the difference between somebody who's not even in this state versus you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So as a local lender, I find myself in cases where we just tend to know the market a little bit better than your out-of-state lenders. I find that we close loans a lot quicker because of that. We can get loans documented and priced out accurately up front, even during the initial pre-approval process. So clients feel like it's less of a hassle working with local lenders.
So like for somebody sitting there watching this and they're probably thinking, God, I've been working on my credit for a while. I just don't want somebody to pull my credit and knock my score down.
That's a common objection that we do get. And mortgage inquiries are largely have very little impact on their credit. And what people forget is that if you have blemishes on the credit, we usually ask questions like that up front without even pulling it. Why are you reluctant to have somebody look at your credit?
Sure.
It's an initial part of getting an accurate pre-approval. It's arguably the most essential because we actually can't issue a legitimate pre-approval without a credit check.
And we honestly can't show a home in this market without a pre-approval.
Right.
I mean, that's just the ethics behind what we do in this business. So having a pre-approval is like your golden ticket to making sure you can walk and see these homes, that we can talk with the sellers, negotiate, and put an offer together. There have been times where you and I have personally been working together, and it may be a Saturday night at 9:30, and I'm like, hey, they just changed. They want to up their pre-approval. Like, we need to get on this like right now. And boom, we have it. Right. If I'm calling Loan Depot's people, I'm sure they're not answering their phone at 9:30 at night to get the job done.
Right. And they can't quickly come to you and say, hey, yes, I know they're good at that. Their pre-approval was set at maybe 400, but I knew they were good to 450. You're just not going to get that anywhere else.
Right. Awesome. Thank you again, Stephen. I always appreciate your time, and thank you again for helping my clients and people on my YouTube channel better understand the mortgage process here. Go ahead and list how people can get in touch with you.
Best way to get in touch with me is just give me a call on my cell. That's 854-999-6976. Or shoot me an email at slind, that's SLIND, at linkloan.com, lincloan.com.
Now, what would you say to somebody who may be watching this and is just kind of like, boy, I want to get more information, but, I'm busy and I don't have all my paperwork together. Like, I think that's kind of a misconception I hear all the time. People are like, I just don't have any of my paperwork together, my W-2s, all that stuff. What do you need from somebody to get the ball rolling?
Just call. because we'll walk you through the process. There's always 10 different ways to go through this process.
Cool.
We'll figure it out. And a lot of times we can kind of get you started without the documentation up front.
Wow, that was some really great information from Stephen Lind at Interlinc Mortgage. Once again, thank you, Stephen, for being on the channel and being on this episode. The only way we can help you, though, find a home here in Charleston is if you reach out. And I can help you, Stephen can help you. We have a whole team of agents here that can just help you. We are the #1 relocation experts in the area for this reason. There's nobody else on YouTube giving you this kind of information and providing you with this level of service that we do. So be sure to give me a call, 843-226-5535. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap that notification bell so every time I upload a new video, you get notified. Once again, I'm Ryan McHugh, your neighborhood expert. Want to see available properties now? Go to www.buyfromry.com, and I will be sure to see you next time.